who helped the U.S. mission here. To access those evacuation flights and the U.S. checkpoint on the military side of the airport, those trying to leave the country must first pass through Taliban-controlled civilian areas. But for now, the Taliban only letting foreigners through.
After nearly 20 years spent in hiding, this morning Taliban leadership touched down in Kandahar. The Biden administration could announce today it is recommending a third COVID vaccine about 8 months after the second one was administered. Dr. Peter Hotez, Texas Children's Hospital co-director for vaccine development.
Maybe now there's some breakthrough hospitalizations after 8 months with the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, and I think that's probably the trigger for the U.S. government to recommend now a third immunization, a booster.
He has fought mask mandates across his state. Now, Texas Governor Greg Abbott has been diagnosed with COVID.
The good news is that my wife continues to test negative. Also want you to know that I have received the COVID-19 vaccine, and that may be one reason why I'm really not feeling any symptoms right now.
Continued hot, dry weather in Northern California. Pacific Gas and Electric cutting power to about 50,000 customers so that lines won't spark more wildfires. Oakland Battalion Chief Ryan Meineke with this warning.
Don't use power equipment and tools outside in dry grass. Don't sit idle on the side of the road and potentially cause the hillside to catch on fire.
In Haiti, Tropical Depression Grace triggering flooding in the area hit by the earthquake less than a week ago. You're listening to ABC News.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-401-6681. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681. 800-401-6681. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi is cutting the Vatican short for members of Congress. Her vacation is ending, calling her colleagues back for a vote on a multi-million-dollar budget resolution. ABC's Andy Fields got the story from Washington.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi saying the Democratic majority will vote on a budget resolution next week, despite a small group of moderate Democrats threatening to block the vote unless they also vote on that already passed bipartisan infrastructure bill. The Speaker saying it's critical the House passes this budget so they can preserve that 51 Senate vote that also would approve another $3.5 trillion in education, child, and health care spending that President Biden also wants.
Rescue at sea, 400 miles off the California coast. The Coast Guard airlifting a 23-year-old woman off a sailboat after she drank antifreeze. Officials say it appears to be an accident, but it's not clear exactly how that happened. And something new is coming for Girl Scout cookie season.
Move over, Thin Mints and Do-si-dos. The Girl Scouts of America, many known as brownies, will soon have a brownie-inspired cookie. The new Adventurefuls cookie will join the Girl Scouts national cookie lineup for the 2022 selling season, which runs from January through April. A press release says every bite of Adventurefuls is full of indulgent brownie-inspired flavor, with a combination of chocolatey and caramel, smooth and crispy textures for an incredible taste of adventure in every bite. Derek Dennis, ABC News.
This is ABC News.
The U.S. dollar is plummeting. Protect your savings against inflation with precious metals. I'm Dinesh D'Souza for Birch Gold Group. Birch Gold Group is who I trust to help you protect your IRA or 401k with gold and silver. With thousands of satisfied customers, an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. Get a free information kit by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. Again, text PROTECT to 989898 today.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Saving money is easy when you shop at Jay's Discount Grocery. From snack foods to vegetables, fresh fruits to fresh cut meats, paper products, cleaning supplies, dog food, and so much more. You just never know what you'll find at Jay's. So shop and save today. They're located at 671 Oak Street in Forest City, right beside the Hospice Resale Store. When you shop at Jay's, you always walk out with money left over in your pocket.
After a wild and crazy weather day yesterday, it's calmer today. Only a 20% chance of some isolated thunderstorms this afternoon. Our high today around 88 with winds, southwest winds to 7 miles per hour. Tonight, only a 20% chance of some isolated thunderstorms. Now, Thursday increases back to 60. On Friday, 70%. But by Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, it looks really nice out there. No rain in the forecast whatsoever. But temperatures are going to be up in the upper 80s, so we can enjoy the heat with no thunderstorm possibilities. And right now it's 69 degrees on this crazy, crazy morning here at WCAB, 69 degrees. And we look for some rain maybe later on this afternoon. Hopefully not as bad as yesterday with the storms. Now I have these death announcements this morning. Steve Barnett Lowry, 77, of Bostic, died Monday. The funeral will be conducted at 11 o'clock Thursday, August 19th at Golden Valley Missionary Methodist Church. The Reverend Lamar Hewitt, Reverend David Saldo, and Reverend Dennis Hurd will officiate. The burial will follow in the church cemetery with military rites rendered by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. The visitation will be from 5 until 7 Wednesday at Washburn and Dorsey Funeral Home. That's today. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service, serving the family of Steve Barnett Lowry. Brian Douglas Levine passed away August 13th. Arrangements are incomplete and will be announced later by Crow's Mortuary and Crematory Service for Brian Douglas Levine. Helen Sally Sprouse, 82, of Maryland Street, Spindale, passed away Tuesday, August 17th. Those arrangements are currently incomplete and will be announced later by Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services for Helen Sally Sprouse. Jeremy Harden, age 32, of Easley, passed away Thursday, August 12th at Prisma Health, Greenville. Celebration of life for Jeremy will be conducted on a later date. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Jeremy Harden. Jerry Aiden Lynch, age 69, of 4A City, passed away at Mission Hospital August 9th. Services will be private, and online condolences may be made at crowmortuary.com for Jerry Aiden Lynch. Michael Spencer Tanner, 86, of Rutherfordton, passed away Sunday, August 15th at his home. Services will be private for the family, and Crow's Mortuary and Cremation is in charge of the arrangements for Michael Tanner. Deborah Lynn Baynard Royal, 61, of Georgia, passed away Monday, August 12th at her residence. The funeral will be conducted at 3 o'clock today at Sulphur Springs Baptist Church with Reverend Ethan Gardner officiating. Burial will follow in Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the church. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Deborah Lynn Baynard Royal. J.B. Green, age 60, of Forest City, passed away Saturday, August 14th at Atrium Health, Cleveland in Shelby. The celebration of life service will be conducted at 6 o'clock Thursday, August 19th at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. The family will receive friends following the service. Guests are asked to wear masks and observe social distancing. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with the arrangements for J.B. Green. Joel Beeson, age 64, of 4A City, passed away Sunday, August 15th at Accordius Health, Rutherford, formerly White Oak Manor. A memorial service will be conducted at 4 o'clock Friday, August 20th at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel with Reverend Wayne Toney officiating. Family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Joel Beeson of 4A City. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. For complete information on these and others as they become available to us, tune in this morning at 11:35 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report here on WCAB Rutherfordton.
Thank you for making WCAB your radio station of choice for over 50 years. Let's keep it going. Turn it up. This is 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB Rutherford Dunn.
The Bill O'Reilly update this morning is not available, coming down the crazy pikes of electronics. He's not available this morning from our satellite feed. We'll have him back on tomorrow morning, hopefully. It's 11 minutes after 7 o'clock, and the caller and report will be forthcoming.
Cyrus Skinner started his life of crime as a teenager by robbing people in Texas. At the age of 21, he migrated to California and was arrested for burglary. On August 18, 1851, he was sent to San Quentin prison for 2 years. 3 months after his release, Skinner was arrested again for burglary. This time he was sent up the river for 3 years. In less than 6 months, he was free, but not with the approval of the authorities. He escaped. Skinner was free for a year and a half before he was back in the Hooskow, this time for 14 years. During Skinner's freedom, he became a friend of Henry Plummer, and during Skinner's third term in San Quentin, Plummer showed up there for a spell. For a second time, Skinner escaped from San Quentin. This time he went to Idaho, where his old friend Henry Plummer had a gang, and Skinner opened up a saloon that catered to Plummer and his like. Shortly afterwards, Skinner went to Montana and opened up another saloon. Plummer and his gang followed afterwards. For sure, they were chased by the law. In Montana, Skinner became noted for committing brutal murders, often just for the fun of it. About this time, citizens formed the famous Montana Vigilantes. With the hanging of Henry Plummer, Skinner left the area. But that wasn't enough for the Vigilantes. They went after him, and in January of 1864 captured him. Skinner broke away from the Vigilantes, hoping he would be shot. But the Vigilantes had determined that a rope, not a bullet, would be the end of his life. And that's exactly what happened. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Put Jesse James Railroad Express on your lunch calendar. He has a menu chocked full of fresh cooked burgers, fresh salads, hot dogs made any way you like, taco salads, specialty burgers, sandwiches, french fries, or onion rings. Enjoy refreshing milkshakes, Coke floats, or a cone of hand-dipped ice cream. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 4, closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton. Call 828-447-4644. Mondays only. Hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions for only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
Now let's get to the phones and find out what's been going on other than the weather over the past 24 hours or so. And Deputy McLaughlin is on the phone with me right now to give us that update. Good morning. How are you doing today? How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, sir.
Tell us what's been going on with your department.
All right. So in the last 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office has responded to 272 calls for service. 15 arrests were made, and the county jail currently houses 208 inmates. We'll start off with the arrest report. Stacy Bauer was arrested on an extradition fugitive warrant. She was given a secured $10,000 bond. Milo Henderson of Hickory, North Carolina, was arrested on a failure to appear on a misdemeanor, given a secured $500 bond. Christopher Bowen, Grover, North Carolina, arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor, was given a $2,000 secured bond. Christopher Fortenberry, arrested on failure to appear on a felony and failure to appear on a misdemeanor, was given a unsecured $10,500 bond. Benjamin Brewer, arrested on a failure to appear on a misdemeanor, was given a $5,000 secured bond. Antonio Jefferson, arrested for second-degree trespass, injury to personal property, and resisting public officer, was given a secured $5,000 bond. Howard Bates was arrested for communicating threats, given a secured $1,000 bond. David Anderson was arrested on a true bill of indictment, was given a $10,000 secured bond. Walter Vasconcelos was arrested for assault on a female, was given a $1,000 unsecured bond. Jonah Adkins was arrested for possession of Schedule 4 controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, was given a $500 secured bond. That is it for the arrest report, sir. We'll kick over to the incident reports. Kimberly Dobbins reported misdemeanor larceny. Joshua Price reported larceny of a motor vehicle. And that's all I have for you this morning, sir.
Thank you, Deputy McLaughlin. Can you tell anything about the power outages in Rutherfordton? Is this pretty widespread, or is everybody back online?
I believe everything's, just as far as I know, that stuff's making its way back to being on. I know there's still some folks out there that don't have power right now. I know mine was flickering all morning. So.
Yeah. All right, we do appreciate your report. You be safe out there today.
All right. Thanks, sir.
All right, bye-bye. And there we have records of reports of it, that some of the parts of Rutherfordton still without power. Others may be. And those of you who are listening to me right now, listening on 100.9 FM, we had a lot of technical difficulties ourselves out on Whiteside Road and out near where our tower is, and parts of Rutherfordton, and all night long has been affected by the storm. Hopefully today will be a better day, and we thank you for being patient with us. Some of you have called and said you were without power, so we'll see how long it takes. And it must have been a really major. I know there were major power outages all over western North Carolina, a lot of flooding. And here is Amanda now with the 911 Communications Center report. Amanda, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on your report, Amanda?
On the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Center has processed 642 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 54 for the emergency medical services, 13 for rescue, 126 calls for the Sheriff's Office, 83 for Forest City, 13 for Lake Lure, 30 for Rutherford, and 51 for Spindale. Bills Creek Fire Department had a motor vehicle crash, a structure fire, Swiftwater Rescue. Forest City had a motor vehicle crash times 3. Green Hill had a motor vehicle crash, Rutherfordton had 2 motor vehicle crashes, and Spindale had an industrial fire alarm, and that is all.
Can you tell us much about the power outages in the county? Is it widespread, or is it pretty narrowed down now?
I don't know. We haven't been updated as of this morning.
Okay. All right. Thank you much for the report. You have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Well, listen, but in spite of all the bad news out there, there's still some good news, and part of it is right downtown at the Fudge Shop. America's Fudge Shop in downtown Forest City at 155 East Main Street has added fresh roasted cinnamon glazed nuts. Yes, fresh roasted cinnamon glazed nuts. Your choice of almond, cashew, or pecan. $5 a cone, or buy 3 for $12. Available every day along with 24 flavors of fudge. Fudge flavors range from Rocky Road to salted caramel. Stop in Wednesday 11 to 5, Thursday and Friday 11 to 6, and Saturday 11 to 5 to sample all of your favorite flavors. Follow them on Facebook or call 828-447-2041 or drop by during the Hot Night Cool Rides car show for a delicious treat on Saturday at the Fudge Shop, 155 East Main Street, right downtown Forest City. Here's Ruby Taylor now with a report from Danieltown. What's going on over there, Ruby?
Well, as far as I know, Jim, there's nothing going on. We just had a storm yesterday afternoon. Don't know of anything.
Did it hit you pretty bad yesterday?
Yeah, we got a lot of, I'm scared of storms anyway. But the wind was pretty rough, and we had a lot of rain, but as far as I know, there's no damage around,
Good.
me. I've looked out and I don't see anything.
You didn't lose any power then?
No,
Good. That's good.
Y'all are not on the radio, on air, are you?
We're on the air on our FM, 100.9 FM.
Yeah, well, I can't get that on my radio.
Your radio doesn't have an FM?
It has one, but I can't pick you up.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Strange that would not be happening. But anyway, we're sorry you're not available on AM for us, but we're not available for you, that is. But hopefully we'll get that squared away as soon as we can get out to the tower and flick a switch. Meanwhile, you have a great day.
Well, I've got one birthday. Emily Rudolph is having a birthday. I hope she has a nice day, and the signs are in their knees today and tomorrow. And that's all I got, Jim.
All right, Ruby, have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, I was all the way up in Marion, McDowell County over the weekend. Pulled in there to rest stop there on High 40, and our FM 100.9 was coming in loud and clear. So I guess it's a matter of fine-tuning the FM dial sometimes. It's hard to fine-tune that, but we hope you can find your way anyway.
Hey, Greer, where you going?
I'm out of dog food. I'm trying to get to the grocery store before the crowd hits.
Just go to Rutherford Pet Supply.
Rutherford Pet Supply?
Yeah, you don't even have to go in. Just go to their drive-through window, tell them what you need, or you can go online at rutherfordpet.com. Just whiz through the drive-through. They have top brand merchandise at guaranteed lowest prices, and if they aren't the lowest, they'll match it and give you 10% of the difference.
Can I call?
Yep, 248-2336.
I don't have to get out of the car? Hey, that's great. That means I don't have to put on...
Rutherford Pet Supply, 115 Reservation Drive in Spindale. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. until 6 p.m., caring for the furry members of your family. Use our drive-thru, and you won't even have to get out of your pajamas.
When the Braves take the field, count on your home for Atlanta Braves baseball to bring you every huge game.
Offering on the way to Freddie. He hits one high in the air to deep right center field. This has got a chance. Back there at the wall, he just rocked it right over the right center field wall.
Tonight, don't miss a minute of Atlanta Braves baseball from South Florida as Freddie and the Braves take on division rivals, the Miami Marlins. Braves Radio goes on the air at 5:55 Eastern, 4:55 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
We are remembering the classic oldies
right here on WCAB Rutherfordton.
The best of both worlds now. AM 590 and 100.9 FM.
Number 723, let's head up to the Fairfield Mountains Fire District area. And Gary is on the phone with us right now. Gary, did you stay at about all night last night?
I tell you what, about 11 o'clock last night, I realized how old I am. That was a young man day yesterday, not for an old man, but I tell you what, they run us pretty ragged up in here on this end. I'm sure it was that way all over the county too, but I know Lake Lure and Chimney Rock and Bills Creek and Green Hill and Shingle Hollow and us were just going from one place to the other. It seemed like flooding and mudslides and automobile wrecks and trees and power lines down, and just you name it, we had it. I think we had 6 calls that we answered, and I'm sure Bills Creek and Lake Lure had a lot more than that. And it was a real mess. I think everybody's got power back now. I know I lost it at my house till about 9 o'clock last night, and then there's some areas up there in Lake Lure that were out, and big mudslide up near the county line up in Bat Cave at 6474. I'm not sure when they got that open back up, or they were still working on it at about 10 or 11 o'clock last time.
It was a crazy storm. It affected a lot of areas, particularly in the western part of the state.
It did.
Even
I had a total of 6 inches here at my house, but I've heard other places said that they had 8, 9 inches of rain up through Lake Lure and Chimney Rock area. So there's a lot of water coming down there in about 24 hours. But we're sitting on about 71 this morning, and still overcast, but no rain. The rain stopped around 11 or 12 o'clock finally last night. But we want to appreciate everybody that helped, and glad everybody got through it okay up here, and no injuries or anything like that I'm aware of. So that was a good thing, because it was kind of touch and go there for a while.
Well, we'll appreciate everything you guys do, the fire department, rescue folks, everybody that's first responders, everybody that's out on nights like that.
Hats off to the utility companies. They were out all night long getting everybody's power back to them. So, yes, I want to thank them for that.
Yeah.
But hopefully today will be a quieter day.
Well, I hope you can get some rest today, Gary, because and through tonight. I hope you don't have to get up in the night tonight.
I hope not either. All right, Jim. We appreciate it.
See you, Gary. Thanks. Bye-bye.
See you.
Gary Wilson reported out of the Fairfield Mountains, Bills Creek area, where they really got hit hard last night. There's still a lot of roads up in the western part of the state that's damaged, closed out. A slide closed US 1974 there in Nantahala Gorge area around Bryson City. Heavy rainstorms generated 3 landslides in that area on Tuesday, forcing a closure of US 1974 on both directions. Marked detours directing westbound traffic from US 1974 to NC 28. So it's not only that area, but some areas. So if you're traveling in that direction, you might want to look ahead and see what the road conditions are before you travel. All right, Bob Hodge, let's go to Bob Hodge and see what happened over in his territory last night. Bob, good morning.
Well, good morning.
You doing okay this morning?
Well, still here this morning.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad
I know at about 7 o'clock last night we got some hard rain and wind come through here. So, but at least we didn't have any damage. I don't reckon much up this way, but it looked pretty bad for just a little while. But it soon passed through, and we lost power for a couple hours, but they finally got it back on about 9 o'clock last night, so that wasn't too bad. But with the fire department, we had one fire call to a power line fire on Weatherstone Drive and Hudlow Road, and then another power line fire call on Canyon Drive. And other than that, it was pretty quiet with the fire department. And I want to say happy birthday to Kathy Manili and Frankie and Renee Samuel's wedding anniversary today. And, Jim, that's about it. We weathered the storm, and everything's looking much better this morning.
Well, I hope it settles down for a while, don't you?
That's right. Yeah, we need a few days of rest, don't we?
Absolutely. Well, tell all the guys and gals in your department up there how much we appreciate the hard work they do.
That's right. They do a lot of work out here doing these storms and everything. So, Duke Power and fire department.
Yeah. I'm sure.
And all EMS.
Yeah, a lot of people involved.
That's right. But, Jim, you take care, and you have a good day today.
You too, Bob. Thanks for your report, and I'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. To win in sports, you must adjust your strategy as the game changes. The same is true of investments. Why not let Andrew Tisdale, your Edward Jones financial advisor, help you create a game plan for financial success? Call 828-287-9197 and get started today. That's Andrew Tisdale at Edward Jones Financial Advisor, 828-287-9197.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Let's check on things now over in the Cherry Mountain Fire District with Sue Price. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
What's it like over there?
Well, it's a little bit cloudy looking. We're going to get more rain today.
Well, there's a possibility of getting more rain today. Yeah, there's about a 80% chance that maybe it won't be, we won't get the remnants of Fred. I hope Fred settled down a little bit.
I hope so, too. We got a lot of rain yesterday, last night. Well, let's see. I have absolutely no birthdays or anniversaries on either of my calendars. So I don't have anybody celebrating, but we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day and enjoy it. And in my announcements, the chopped sirloin supper at the Hopewell Hollis Clubhouse, August 21st, 4 to 8 p.m. Adults are $10, children 6 to 12, $5. It'll be chopped sirloins, baked potato, French fries, salad bar, all the good things to go with the supper. Good desserts. They always have good desserts. And it'll be takeout or dine in. So if you still don't feel comfortable, you can get a takeout plate. And they have a really good supper. And as far as I know, the Piney Mountain Boys will be at Duncan's Creek on the 29th during the regular service. And hopefully we'll have a good day today. Hopefully we don't have any storms.
Only a 20% chance of rain today, so maybe it'll be a nice, calm day. We hope so.
Maybe so. Yesterday was sort of shaky, wasn't it?
Yes, yes.
Well, I hope you'll have a good day today, Jim.
You too, Sue. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
7:31, and we have, let's see what we have. 69 degrees, according to Peter the Meter Reader. One of my thermometers bit to dust. The other one is showing that kind of temperature. It's going to be kind of nice today.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there. All right, let's go up to Shingle Hollow and see if Shingle Hollow got wiped out of a map last night. Tina White's on the phone now to give us that update. Tina, good morning.
We're still on the map.
Good.
Lots of water up here in Shingle Hollow, though. A lot of creeks up in the banks. Flood warning. Is it still going on right now?
Yes, it is. Till this afternoon, I believe. It's a flash flood watch now. It's not a warning anymore. It's a watch. So that's decreased the emphasis a little bit.
So, got that rain. We watched it. We sat on the porch and watched for a while. The Shingle Hollow Fire Department was very busy in the last 24 hours. They assisted with stranded motorists, power lines down, assisted Green Hill with checking low line areas for flooding, and assisted Bills Creek with a generator fire underneath the house.
Oh,
so they were very, very, very busy.
Oh, wow. Yeah. There were never any dull moments around anybody's fire department last night, I don't think.
And I haven't heard from Green Hill this morning, so the chief may be sleeping in or may be real busy this morning. I bet he's not sleeping in.
No, bet not. Somebody told me a little honeybee came by yesterday and brought me a little jar of honey.
I don't know who that could have been, but I wonder, was it Shingle Hollow honey?
It was Shingle Hollow honey, that's right. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to get out and shake hands with the honeybee when she came in, but thank you anyway.
Busy, but I had several errands, and I had a dentist appointment I had to get to, and then just several different things I did yesterday in a timely manner, so I didn't have time to wait. But I'll catch up another time and talk with you.
Please do that.
But enjoy that honey.
I do.
Every drop.
I love honey, and I've never had any Shingle Hollow honey before, but I'm looking forward to it, and I love honey, and we're completely out of my house, so the timing was very good.
It was my pleasure.
Let me ask you a question. I want to ask you, and Brenda may have heard this. If somebody was asking me this the other day, and I got scolded because I haven't brought it forward yet. Somebody said that every fog there is in August indicates how many snows we're going to get in the winter. Have you ever heard that?
I have not heard that.
Yeah, I'm sure some of our listeners have heard that every fog that we have in August indicates how many snows we may get in the winter. So we've had several fogs already. So
we're gonna have some
we may
snow.
we may have some snow this winter.
Ooh.
I don't know how to confirm that. Maybe an old wives' tale, but these old farmers that used to live by the almanac. They would know for sure on that. So.
And several of my great uncles have, they really did live by the almanac, and they would know. I'll have to call and ask, but I haven't heard that one.
Yeah.
If I've heard that, I've forgotten it.
Well, check on that sometime when you have a moment. And again, I appreciate you being on with us, and you have a great day and enjoy the rest.
Let me call some birthdays
Oh, yeah,
out.
sure.
Today, Aiden Rhodes is on the birthday calendar for Piney Knob, and I saw him yesterday at the store, and he said, now you be sure to call my birthday out. So I hope he has a wonderful, wonderful birthday, Mr. Aiden Rhodes. And that's the only one I have.
All right,
Everybody
Tina.
have a great day. Stay safe.
You too, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Tina White reporting out of Shingle Hollow this morning, 7:36, and we roll right along to see what else we could come up with. Next stop, Union Mills. Imagine being surrounded by comfort. At Immaculate Heating and Air Conditioning, they offer ultimate home comfort by Coleman. They will install a Coleman high-efficiency heating and cooling system and handle any service and maintenance, all for one low monthly payment with zero out-of-pocket costs for 10 years. That's right, 10 years with no service or repair fees, no maintenance fees, no unexpected cost at all. Ultimate home comfort. It's more comfort all around. Contact Nathan Blackburn at 828-755-5788. That's 755-5788, or visit ImmaculateHeatingandAir.com. Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Come take advantage of the springtime sales event and get the automobile you've been wanting. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. Not sure we're going to be able to get into Union Mills. I think they may have a power outage up there still this morning, but we're still trying to get Brenda Kelly on the phone just in case she's made the connection. Now, I know many of you travel up in the western part of the state, going to the VA Center and different places, clinics up in Asheville around. There are a lot of roads up there closed this morning. I won't mention all of them, but some of them, the Highway 70 and the old Highway 70, Highway 70 between Black Mountain and Swannanoa are closed because of flooding. State Road 1520 is closed in both directions near Davidson River. Highway 1110 near Brevard is closed in both directions. South of Burnsville, there's a road that's closed in both directions. State Road 1168 closed in both directions near 7 Mile Ridge, south of Burnsville. A lot of roads there near Canton. Willis Cove Road near Canton is closed because of an obstruction. So there's been a lot of they were hit really hard up there last night, and hard hit down around the Greenville, Spartanburg, Inman area too last night. So we'll be having stories about that throughout the day today on our news. So just hang around with us. Unable to get in touch with Brenda this morning. Their power, I think, maybe still be out there. We're going to jump on over to Ellenboro, and it seems like they survived over there, and Luther Gilligan is on the phone to tell us all about it. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. We had a good time last night. It got wet.
To say the least.
Well, I had a meeting last night. I went in and the meeting wasn't just sort of a midstream when I come out of it pouring down.
Yeah.
I checked my rain gauge when they all quit. I had 2.6 inches of rain yesterday. 2 inches of it during that meeting last night.
Wow.
Because it did some rain down here. But that was the biggest thing that happened there. Lucky it didn't have any, fire department didn't have anything out of that. They were quiet all day yesterday and all night last night. Some people had a little flood here or there, and I thought a couple people had floods running in, water running in their outbuildings.
Mm-hmm.
And one man almost got water running in his house.
Mm.
But it missed it. He said it stay dry inside, so he was happy about that. And nothing else going on there this morning. Everybody's just trying to get to work. But we're going to have something going on there here Saturday. 4 o'clock over at the Hopewell Hollis Grill Tent Club. We'll be having a big old ground chuck steak dinner with all the trimmings go with it. That'll be from 4 to 8 p.m. So everyone's invited to come on by. And we'll have eat in and take out. And nothing else going on down here, Jim. You have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Luther. I appreciate it. I will see you then. Have a good one.
All right, take care now.
Well, that's a report from around the county. We had various reports of some flooding, some damage, and some places were nice and quiet. So that's the good thing about the call-around report. We get it from all points of our geography, and so we appreciate these reporters representing the fire districts being with us each morning to tell us what's going on. And there are still places in our county where the power is off. Parts of Rutherfordton, I think, still has off, and up around Union Mills, I think they still have power off. In some other sections, as we get to the point of where we find where those are, we can let you know. So if you have business in any of those areas, you may want to change your schedule. If you're traveling anywhere this morning, please check the road conditions before you just head into around a curve or something. There may be a bridge washed out, or maybe an overflow of a culvert, and a lot of water there. So please be careful and drive carefully and slow down. Everything is going to be, it'll be there when you get there, hopefully. Time for birthdays and anniversaries now for this 18th day of August, August 18th. Call us now at 287-3356. Todd's out there standing by to take your birthday calls. We give you a celebration, big shout-out this morning. We need to have a good time since we had all that damage last night. We'll give a big shout-out to your birthday. So call us now, 287-3356.
Hey folks, you know, Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply is an amazing store. I can say that because they have what you need. From pet supplies to fire and ant killer to horse quality Timothy alfalfa hay, $14 per bale. Attention carp fishermen, they have C&J flavoring, only $8 per bottle. And they have oats for sale. Refill your propane tanks at the lowest price. Fully stocked with all your deer supplies and a great selection of farm implements. Need mulch? $12 per scoop. We could call it a superstore. Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply, 188 Whiteside Road in Rutherfordton.
Honey, I got the new Premier Cash scratch-off.
Oh, what should I wear? Sequins or satin?
We could win millions. Go with Sequatin.
Yeah, Sequatin.
The champagne is chilled.
Did you get doggy's tux?
Yeah.
Play like a millionaire. Premier Cash from the North Carolina Education Lottery with top prizes of $2 million. It's the most premier thrill around. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.08. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Cheryl, I've been talking to Tommy and David, the outside salesmen at Henson Building Materials in Forest City. They're going to help us navigate through our remodeling project.
Well, I know they have tons of experience, so we'll be in good hands.
Good hands is right. Even professional builders shop there because they trust the quality products and service.
And did you know they have a great relationship with our community, too? Oh, they're so nice.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
If the 90s Pizza Night is your house, let me give you the phone number to call and prepare a pizza just for you. That's Granny B's Pizza Combo. And here's the phone number, 286-9012, 286-9012. You'll never go back to the others once you've had a Granny B's Combo Pizza. Oh, sure, it's all right to save a little room for one of those Granny B's Daylight Donuts. They're good. West Main Street in Forest City. Make that Spindale. Spindale is the location for Granny B's. Happy birthday. Well, happy birthday to Chase Lovelace. Forest City Chase is 23 today, so wishing Chase a happy birthday. Coming up in just a few moments, keys to confident living, and we'll recap the weather, maybe get in touch with our weather observer again, see if he can give us a lowdown on how much rain actually fell in the past. Since we talked yesterday morning, a lot of rain has fallen. Maybe we can get a report from him this morning as well. All right here, exclusively on a WCAB, and this morning, 100.9 FM only. AM is still not on the air, but thank you for tuning in and finding it on the dial.
Hi, I'm Bill Hostler, Director and Voice for today's Key to Confident Living. I trust you'll take a moment to acquaint yourself with the motivational and inspirational programs available through today's Key to Confident Living. If after reviewing the material you decide you'd like to use it on your station, we only ask that you call us at our toll-free number 1-888-333-KEYS or return the enclosed card. Today. Living in the present moment, worrying about what's already happened. Stress management consultant Don Tubasine says that stress is our response to the situation, not the situation itself. He gives this example. If you get stuck in traffic, you can work yourself up and yell at anyone who beeps his horn. Or you could view the time you're sitting there as the only uninterrupted 15 minutes you'll have all day. John Curtis, founder and director of the University of Wisconsin Stress Management Institute, says, I believe 90% of stress is brought on by not living in the present moment, worrying about what's already happened, what's going to happen, or what could happen. Jesus didn't want people to worry all the time. He pointed out to his followers how God faithfully cared for the birds. He then said, and you are more valuable than they are. We need to see what we can do to overcome worry, since it cannot add a single hour to our lives. God's care for his people is legendary. Many of the great Bible characters found themselves in very difficult circumstances, and invariably God reminded them not to worry. Do not fret, wait on the Lord, and do not be afraid are only a few of the phrases God used to quiet the hearts of his people. He had everything under control. He still does. If you have been worrying and fretting over situations that you can't control, why not rest in a God who cares about you? This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living.
When the Braves take the field, count on your home for Atlanta Braves baseball to bring you every huge game.
Offering on the way to Freddie. He hits one high in the air to deep right center field. This has got a chance. Back there at the wall, he just rocked it right over the right center field wall.
Tonight, don't miss a minute of Atlanta Braves baseball from South Florida as Freddie and the Braves take on division rivals, the Miami Marlins. Braves radio goes on the air at 5:55 Eastern, 4:55 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
We are remembering the classic oldies
right here on WCAB Rutherfordton.
The best of both worlds now. AM 590 and 100.9 FM.
burgers, subs, grinders, pasta dishes, fresh salads, and so much more. All dishes are prepared fresh daily. Hours are Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. until 9 p.m., Saturday noon until 9 p.m. Now at Gregory's, try the family-style meals. The dining room is now open, but curbside and takeout is still available. Enjoy lunch or dinner today with your favorite meal from Gregory's. Call 287-2171, located in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherford's Gregory's Original.
This is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates, wanting to let you know that we have moved. Our new office is located at 245 East Main Street in Forest City. Come see us for auto, home, or your commercial insurance needs. Also come see me, Dwayne Hunt, for your Medicare supplements, Medicare Advantage, or prescription drug plans. See us at Insurance Service Associates, now located at 245 East Main Street in Forest City, or call 828-245-5301.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continue to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid 19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
Deputy McLaughlin was with us earlier this morning on the phone to give us a report from the Sheriff's Department. We recorded it for broadcast at this time.
In the last 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office has responded to 272 calls for service. 15 arrests were made, and the county jail currently houses 208 inmates. We'll start off with the arrest report. Stacy Bauer was arrested on an extradition fugitive warrant. She was given a secured $10,000 bond. Milo Henderson of Hickory, North Carolina, was arrested on a failure to appear on a misdemeanor, given a secured $500 bond. Christopher Bowen, Grover, North Carolina, arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor, was given a $2,000 secured bond. Christopher Fortenberry, arrested on failure to appear on a felony and failure to appear on a misdemeanor, was given a unsecured $10,500 bond. Benjamin Brewer, arrested on a failure to appear on a misdemeanor, was given a $5,000 secured bond. Antonio Jefferson, arrested for second-degree trespass, injury to personal property, and resisting public officer, was given a secured $5,000 bond. Howard Bates was arrested for communicating threats, given a secured $1,000 bond. David Anderson was arrested on a true bill of indictment, was given a $10,000 secured bond. Walter Vasconcelos was arrested for assault on a female, was given a $1,000 unsecured bond. Jonah Atkins was arrested for possession of Schedule 4 controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, was given a $500 secured bond. That is it for the arrest report, sir. We'll kick over to the incident reports. Kimberly Dobbins reported misdemeanor larceny. Joshua Price reported larceny of a motor vehicle. And that's all I have for you this morning, sir.
The music's on us. WCAB.
NCN Sports. Good morning. I'm Tony Brixby. The Carolina Panthers trading 2020 second-round draft pick Greg Little to the Miami Dolphins for a seventh-round pick in 2022. The Panthers drafted Little with an eye toward him becoming their left tackle, but he's been a disappointment, playing in just 14 games. Tim Tebow's football career looks to be over. The Jacksonville Jaguars cut the Heisman Trophy winner after a dismal preseason game against the Browns. He had tried being a tight end after failing as a quarterback. CBS Sports senior NFL reporter Jonathan Jones says that Tebow was terrible at the tight end position.
Goodness gracious. He played a little bit more than a dozen snaps, and he did not look like a professional tight end out there. And, you know, the clips went viral. At this point, everyone's seen it. My mom, who barely even watches preseason football, has seen it. You know, he couldn't block.
The Rays adding to their division lead and extending the Orioles' long losing streak. Here's Dave Ferry.
The Rays have expanded their lead in the AL East to 5 games by blowing out the Orioles 10-0. Nelson Cruz led the Rays' attack with 2 home runs, a 3-run blast, and a 2-run shot. Mike Zunino also went deep, his career-high 26th home run. Randy Arozarena was 4 for 5 with 2 runs scored as Tampa Bay added a game and a half to their division lead, thanks to the Yankees' doubleheader sweep of the Red Sox. The Rays allowed just 4 hits in dealing Baltimore its 13th consecutive loss. The O's made 2 errors that led to 4 unearned runs. I'm Dave Ferry.
The Braves extended their lead in the National League East with a 2-0 win over Miami. White Sox now up 12 in the Central. They beat the Athletics last night 9-0. Some scary moments when Chris Bassett was hit on the head by a line drive in that game. Manager Tony La Russa said that was the only down point in what otherwise was a good night for the White Sox. You're listening to NCN Sports.
America is connected by our roads, bridges, electrical, and telecommunications infrastructure. Investments in these critical systems make our communities, economy, and national security stronger. These systems are vital to our everyday lives and North Carolina's economy. That's why Senators Richard Burr and Tom Tillis voted for legislation that makes critical investments in North Carolina's roads, bridges, and electricity systems. Critical investments in the infrastructure that makes America and North Carolina great. Repairing our roads and bridges, upgrading electrical systems, and increasing access to information systems is good for our families, good for America, and good for our future. Thank you, Senator Burr and Senator Tillis, for voting for a real infrastructure plan that rebuilds America and invests in North Carolina. Thank you for voting to invest in us. Learn more at let'sinvestinus.com. Paid for by Citizens for Responsible Energy Solutions.
A Pro Football Hall of Famer is starring in a PSA that urges young children not to play tackle football. CBS News correspondent Peter King explains.
It begins with a very young boy in a football jersey.
I just learned about CTE, the brain disease caused by repeated hits to the head.
He quickly morphs into a teen.
By the time I'm a senior in high school, I'll have played 13 years of tackle football. I could already have CTE.
Finally, Hall of Fame quarterback Brett Favre.
I could be fighting depression, struggling to keep my thoughts straight. I could become violent, even towards my own children.
The message through the Concussion Legacy Foundation PSA, parents, help your kids avoid brain injuries. Let them play flag football, but not tackle until they're in high school. Peter King, CBS News.
Tony Rixby, NCN Sports.
After a wild and crazy weather day yesterday, it's calmer today. Only a 20% chance of some isolated thunderstorms this afternoon. Our high today around 88 with winds, southwest winds to 7 miles per hour. Tonight, only a 20% chance of some isolated thunderstorms. Now, Thursday increases back to 60. On Friday, 70%. But by Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, it looks really nice out there. No rain in the forecast whatsoever. But temperatures are going to be up in the upper 80s, so we can enjoy the heat with no thunderstorm possibilities. Currently at 70 degrees here at WCAB in Rutherfordton, serving the foothills of the Carolinas. We're at 100.9 FM, 590 AM, and streaming on the World Wide Web at www.wcab59.com. It's time now for the Word of Faith Fellowship radio program, and with the program this morning is Gilbert and Christy Carmona.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Gilbert Carmona. This is my wife, Christy Carmona. We are members of the Word of Faith Fellowship, and this is the Word of Faith Fellowship radio program, and we're really excited and glad to be with you this morning. We have several things we want to share with you. We've been talking a lot about character and Christian character and what builds character, and this subject has come up in our conversation a lot lately because just experiences that have been happening. Recently, one of our customers, one of our clients, longtime client, passed away. And we went to be with the family and shared with them. And they kept saying to us, "What do you have?" We shared with them how we had walked through the death of our son. We shared with them things, just what God has taught us, and how we, through difficulties and through hard times that we faced, how God was there for us, and how God changed us, and how God changed us for the better. and how God, I almost want to say, thrust us. Christy would say a lot, it feels like God is holding our hands up and he's thrusting us into his will. And I tried to share that with this man, and he was just a sponge listening to everything we had to say. He was not a religious person. Him and his wife were not religious, and neither were their children. And we just got to share with them. And so we've been having a lot of conversation about what is it that shapes our character. And two things happen when bad things happen. You're either going to draw closer to God, you're going to seek God, and you're going to hopefully come out the other end with a relationship with God, or the opposite's going to happen. And you're going to distance yourself from God, and you're going to be a bitter and angry person. And we see this a lot. We've seen it a lot. We live in a time right now where nobody really knows what's going to happen next. There's a lot of bad things happening in this world right now. But it's been this way for a long time. This is really nothing new. When I was first coming into the things of God, when I was a young man, I attended Bible school. This was in the mid-'80s. There was a book that was published. The book was actually published in the early 80s, and it was around for a few years, and all of a sudden it got very big. And the book was called Why Do Bad Things Happen to Good People? And the book was written by a man whose son had died, and he was an Orthodox rabbi, and he started questioning a lot of things about God. And he wrote this book, and at the end of the book, he came to the conclusion that while God is God, God is a God, and God was not powerful enough to deal with the evil in the world. And this book really put some roots down in churches, and you would see this book around a lot. I remember later in the late 80s when I was working for a corporation and doing some business travel, I would be in airports and I would see that book for sale in the bookstores, and people were still buying it. The book was a bestseller. But the book was deeply flawed and is deeply flawed because we serve a powerful God, and we serve a God that can handle pretty much anything. The book's premise was wrong. What happens when bad things, or why do bad things happen to good people? It's making the assumption that we are good people. And the truth of the matter is we're not good people. We're born with a sin nature, Adam and Eve, and that's foundational to our Christian belief, that man is born with a sin nature. And if anybody doubts that man is born with a sin nature, you just have to read yesterday's headlines to know that the truth of that. But the good news is that we have a Savior. His name is Jesus Christ, and he's there for us. And I want to read James 4:8. It says, "Come close to God, and he will come close to you. Recognize that you are sinners. Get your soiled hands clean. Realize that you have been disloyal, wavering individuals with divided interests, and purify your hearts of your spiritual adultery." So it's not that bad things happen to people. It's what are you going to do when bad things happen? We, as I said earlier, our son died in 2014 in a car accident, no fault of his own. He was going to work in the morning, and he was hit by a semi-truck and immediately died. But I can go, as I was thinking about this, and as we talk about this Christian character, I was going way back. We've all got hurts and pains. We've all got disappointments. We've all got really bad things that have happened to us. And 1985, both my parents were in a car accident. They were killed. They died instantly. We lived in a suburb of Chicago at that time, and my father was driving. They were self-employed, had their own business. Then they were coming home from meetings, and one of those Chicago ice storms with the high wind that you hear so much about happened. And on the way home, his car lost control. The car coming towards them lost control. There was a collision. 2 other people were seriously injured. My parents were both killed. That caused me, for the first time in my life, to really stop and say, what about Jesus? Now, I had been raised Catholic. I had gone to Catholic school my whole life. I came to this country from Cuba. I didn't speak English, so I went into the Catholic school as a foreign speaker. They taught me how to speak English. They taught me a lot of things. But I never really learned Jesus. In my whole 12 years of being in the Catholic Church, I never learned Jesus. I learned a lot of rituals, but I never learned Jesus. And when this happened with my parents, it really caused me to stop and say, what about Jesus? And I sought God through a lot of things. And later in life, other things happened. 2 of my best friends died. One of them had a long illness, cancer. The other one had a problem with drugs. He was a professional, a doctor, very respected, and overdosed one night. My half-brother was also killed in a car accident. All of these tragedies in my life caused me to go to God. All of these tragedies made me search what is going on with me, because we can blame things that are all around us, but that's not where the problem is, and that's not what God is trying to deal with. God wants to deal with me. God wants to deal with you. God wants to deal with your heart, because we do serve a great God that cares deeply about you, but we are sinners, so he needs to work on us a little. And that's where, when these adversities and these traumas and these bad things that happen, you've got 2 options. You can either go to God or you can not go to God. And even reading the newspaper today and seeing the headlines and seeing the news, you've got 2 choices. You can go to God or you can not go to God. Go ahead.
In John 16:33, Jesus says, I have told you these things so that in me you may have perfect peace and confidence. In the world you have tribulation and trials and distress and frustration. And like he said, we have a lot of frustration, a lot of trials, a lot of evil things going on right now. But Jesus says to be of good cheer. Take courage, be confident, certain, for I have overcome the world. I have deprived it of power to harm you and have conquered it for you. And that really uproots what that man said in his book about that God is not able to overcome evil. Jesus said, I have overcome the world. I have deprived it of power to harm you. And Jesus also says to count it all joyful in James 1, my brethren, whenever you are enveloped in or encounter trials of any sort or fall into various temptations. Be assured and understand that the trial and the proving of your faith bring out endurance and steadfastness and patience. But let endurance and steadfastness and patience have full play and do a thorough work so that you may be people perfectly and fully developed with no defects, lacking in nothing. And that's what Gilbert is saying. When we go through these trials, when we go through things, what is it going to develop in us? What kind of character is it going to make inside of us? What kind of root is it going to put in us? And in Luke 8, we have the sower who sows the seed. And in verse 13, it talks about when he sows the seed upon the rock. It says these are the people that when they hear the word, they receive and they welcome it with joy, but they have no real root. And when you go through things, are we going to be rooted in God? It says that they believe for a while, and in the time of trial and temptation, they fall away. They withdraw and they stand aloof. But we don't want to fall away. We don't want to stand aloof from God. We want to draw close to God. We want to come close to him because he will come close to us. And there's another verse, several verses that talk about going through trials. 1 Peter 1, 6 through 7. You should be exceedingly glad on this account, though now for a little while you may be distressed by trials and suffer temptations, so that the genuineness of your faith may be tested. Your faith, which is infinitely more precious than the perishable gold, which is tested and purified by fire. And we want to have our faith purified so we can go to heaven. Because in Revelations, it says, Revelations 3, verse 10, because you have guarded and kept my word of patient endurance, you have held fast the lesson of my patience with the expectant endurance that I give you. I also will keep you safe from the hour of trial, of testing, which is coming on the world, the whole world, to try those who dwell upon the earth. And when I was reading this, it really stood out to me about where it said, the expectant endurance that I give you. That means we expect God to give us that endurance. He gives it to us. It's nothing that we can do, and that's where we can be joyous, is because it's God that's doing it. It's God that's given us the endurance. And last week when we went to see our client, like Gilbert said, he lost his wife. She was young. She was 48. They have 2 teenage sons. And when he kept saying, how did you do it? How did you guys do it? What did you do? And it was easy to explain because we didn't do anything. We drew close to God and God drew close to us. And it says in James 4, verse 11, humble yourself, feeling very insignificant in the presence of the Lord, and he will exalt you. He will lift you up and make your lives significant. And we were telling him that Jesus will help you. Jesus will bring your life around. Jesus will make your life significant.
I'm gonna finish 11 in Revelation 3:11. God said, I'm coming quickly. Hold fast what you have, so that no one may rob you and deprive you of your crown. And if we can get anything out here, both of us are ready to start crying. I gotta say this. We've been this is a very touching topic for both of us because it's so close to home with us with our son. We loved our son. He was a fine Christian man. And how do you see something good in it? God has a plan. We don't question God. We don't know what it is, but as time has gone on and things have happened, we just can see more and more God's benevolence, God's will, and what God's done in our life through it all, we wouldn't change for anything. Let me read that one more time. I am coming quickly. Hold fast what you have so that no one may rob you and deprive you of your crown. And I'm going to share this thing. Christy, when she was reading this, she came up to me. Actually, I had come home and she said, I got to tell you what I just read in Revelation. I got to tell you what I just read. Expectant endurance that God gives us. God will give us this endurance. God has been giving us this endurance. And we opened up the Bible and started reading it. It was expectant endurance from God. And we've experienced that. Yes. And when you've experienced that, it's hard to explain. But God will do that for you too. He promises he will. Mm-hmm. He will do it for you. You feel like Job sometimes. Job complained quite a bit. But at the end, God got to Job's heart. And Job could have gone both ways. He was very woe is me there in the middle of it all. But at the end, he said, I finally see God. You're God. Basically, you're God and I'm not. And you've said the thing, I've said the thing that you've said to me. And it says that he humbly repented. And God blessed him. And God turned the suffering of Job into a blessing. And God can do that for you no matter what it is you're going through. Because the truth of the matter, the thing that we have learned is we're all going through things. Nobody's exempt. Yes. Just in our business, we deal with finances and people come with us. And there's always this thinking that if I just had enough money, we hear that a lot. The other thing we hear a lot is, what do you think's going to happen? What's going to happen tomorrow, next week, a month from now? What's going to happen with the economy? What's going to happen with the housing? Is the housing bubble going to burst? Are we going to have that again? What's $1 going to be worth? Should I put my money in gold and silver? What should I do? We hear this so much. And the bottom line is, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how much security you have. Doesn't matter how much security you think you have, because we know that it's all but a vapor and it can all just fly away. The Bible says riches are like a bird that can fly away. None of that matters. It's the condition of your heart that God cares about. God has no problem making anybody wealthy. God actually said Nebuchadnezzar, who was a pretty wicked man, is my servant. Why was Nebuchadnezzar God's servant? Because he heard the voice of God and he obeyed. He obeyed what God said. So God can do this for anybody. God can do it for you. But it's the issue of your heart is, what are you going to do with these trials that are coming? And really the only thing we can say is to cry out to God, to pray to God, to ask God to help you, to ask God to show you, to ask God to be there for you.
Well, even as you referenced Job in James 5, it talks about, you know how we call those blessed, happy, who were steadfast, who endured. You have heard of the endurance of Job, and you have seen the Lord's purpose. See, what Job went through was the Lord's purpose. What we went through, what we've gone through, is the Lord's purpose for us to draw near to God, for us to make it to heaven. Because one of my favorite passages in the Bible is Matthew 24, where it talks about, you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not frightened or troubled, for this must take place, but the end is not yet. And we see this. Nations rising against nation, kingdom against kingdom, famines, earthquakes, and place after place. All this is but the beginning, the early pangs of the birth pangs. They're going to hand you over to suffer affliction, tribulation. They'll put you to death. You will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then many will be offended and repelled. And we don't want to be repelled. And we don't want to begin to distrust and desert him, that's God, whom they ought to trust and obey. We don't want to stumble. We don't want to fall away and betray one another and pursue one another with hatred. Because it says in verse 13, but those who endure to the end will be saved. And that's what our heart's cry is. We want to endure to the end to be saved. We want to endure. That no matter what we go through, we want to endure, because it's God that helps us. It's God that gives us that expectant endurance so that we can make it. Because what's most important in life is eternity. It's where we're going to be in eternity, where we're going to live forever. This life on earth is temporal. It's temporary, but eternity is forever. And that's our hearts. We want to live forever with Jesus.
I'm going to read 11 because we see this happening today in James 24.
Matthew 24.
I'm sorry, thank you. Matthew 24, 11. And many false prophets will rise up. We're seeing this today. We don't call them prophets today. We've got other names for them. We call them politicians. We call them newspaper reporters. We call them celebrities. We call them influencers. We call them social media stars. But they're prophets. And young people that are out there listening, guard your hearts. Guard your hearts. For out of it, the Bible says, out of it flow the issues of life and death. Okay, guard your heart. Because the devil's raging a battle, and the battle's for your soul. The battle's for your heart. So Matthew 24:11, and many false prophets will rise up and deceive and lead many into error. And the love of the great body of people, this is 12 now, and the love of the great body of people will grow cold because of the multiplied lawlessness and iniquity. And this is happening right now. The battle is for your soul. And the devil is no respecter of persons. All of us that grew up reading the Bible know these scriptures. He's a lion prowling, seeking whom he can devour. And he's after everybody. And if you're going to call in the name of the Lord and you're going to say, Jesus is my Savior, get ready, because the battle's on. But there's hope. There's hope in Jesus Christ. 13, which Christy read, but he who endures to the end will be saved. And it's a battle to the end.
Yes.
I'm trying to encourage but it's very discouraging when you look and you see. Getting back, there was one comment I wanted to make. Everybody, we speak with a lot of people, and they feel that they're the only ones going through this problem. The man that wrote that book, his son died of a very, very horrible disease. The disease that there's no cure from. He died at 14 years old. And I know that this man felt that he was probably alone, and he was the only person going through this. But that's not true. Every one of us, to a degree or another, is going through the same battle right now, whether it's family you're disassociated from, whether it's struggles at work, whether it's struggles in your professional life, in your private life, in your church life, wherever these struggles are, in your marriage.
Right. Or even just the hardest thing you've ever had to do, or the most pain you've ever had to walk through, or losing a loved one. A lot of people are losing loved ones. And Jesus is saying to draw near to him. He wants to help you. Come to him. He wants to lift you up. And that's probably the biggest thing we want to get across, is to come to Jesus. Let those trials give you that endurance. Let those trials perfect you, make you strengthened, make you settled, make you grounded in God. Let the trials burn something inside of you that's good. What does it say? About the gold?
Well, gold and silver. I was going to say that earlier.
Yes.
Thank you. Gold and silver. Well, the Bible's very clear. There's several scriptures where it says it's going to rust and your treasures are going to rot. And they're going to be, and then the scripture where your riches will just grow wings and fly away. And if you read in the Old Testament, I know Larry shared a couple of weeks ago, and he shared probably my favorite story in the Bible about Naaman. Naaman was, in the Bible, there's only a few men that are called great. Naaman was great. Naaman was a Syrian, and Naaman was a general, and he did a lot of things for the king, and he did a lot of things for Syria, but he was a leper. And we all know the story. The stories. We learned that story when we were a child. Naaman the leper. He went to the prophet in Israel, and he was told that if he would go there, that he could be cured. So the king wrote a letter to the king of Israel, and he said, "Cure Naaman." So Naaman went, and Naaman was a great general, and he just didn't go on a horse with a few people. He went with his entire army. We know this because the king of Israel rent his clothes before Naaman even got there. He knew he was coming, and he rent his clothes, and he said, "Why is this man coming to see me? They're coming to kill me. They're presenting this impossible feat." But Naaman came, and he said, "I can be healed here in Israel." And the prophet said to the king, "Why are you so distressed? Tell him to come see me." Naaman went to go see the prophet, and the prophet said, "Go dip 7 times in the river and you'll be healed." And Naaman had a hard time with that. It wasn't Naaman's leprosy. God could have healed his leprosy instantaneously. God wanted to do a work in Naaman's heart. God cared about Naaman. And you can say, well, he was an enemy of Israel. It doesn't matter. Nebuchadnezzar was God's servant because he heard the voice of God. And Naaman, one of Naaman's servants, said to him, "Master, if the prophet had told you to do something great, wouldn't you have done it?" Naaman was a man that never backed off of anything. Yeah, he would have done it. Whatever the prophet would have told him, he would have done. But when God said, "Go dip 7 times in the river," a simple, humble task, Naaman wouldn't do it. The servant said, "Such a little thing." And Naaman humbled his heart. He listened to the prophet, listened to what his servant said. He went and he dipped in the river, and when he came out, the Bible says his skin was like the skin of a baby. It's a miracle, but the miracle is what happened in Naaman's heart. That's the miracle. And Naaman came back to the prophet. How do we know that his heart changed? Well, 1, he obeyed. But 2, he came back to the prophet and he said, "Accept a gift from me." And the prophet said, "No, I won't accept any gift from you. God did this for you. You're not going to give me a gift." And Naaman said, "Then do this thing for me, please. Know that when I have to go into the house of my king's God, know that I'm doing it because I have to. ask God to forgive me in this matter. He recognized that God was God. Not the God of the man that wrote that book that said he can't conquer evil. No, God that can do all things for anybody who just asks and cries out to him. And that's the kind of heart change that we can have. I mean, we can go on. We have so many stories of people that come to us and money. Whatever their problem is, money is a root of all evil. But we also know that money's a tool. And we often talk to people. We know that the Lord's coming back soon. We just know it. You look around and you see it. Yet we still are doing, we do plans, we do investments, we advise people. And we were talking about this one time, and Christy was with a client, and Christy said, you know what God showed me when I was with this client? It was a very wealthy, older lady who was in retirement, and she was having us do some things with her money so she could bless some of her grandchildren, and she was planning a trip to go visit her grandchildren. And Christy said, she has oil in her lamp. And I really saw it in a whole new light. We don't hoard money, because silver and gold will perish. It will rust. Your pockets will have holes in them. And we've seen that many times. People with a lot of wealth, all of a sudden, they have no wealth. But it's oil in your lamp. So money's a tool. Money's not the problem. And in the same, the lack of money is not the problem. The problem is a heart condition. We're all a lot like Naaman. We're all asking God to do some things for us. But when God tells us what to do we obey? Will we obey? So we're here to tell you this morning, please obey. Obey God. God will do anything for you. If you ask him and your heart's right, and let it change you. Let it change your character for the better. Come to God. We're getting close to running out of time. Is there anything else you want to share?
I believe there's one more verse. 1 Peter 5:10, and after you have suffered a little while, the God of all grace, who imparts all blessing and favor, who has called you to his own eternal glory in Christ Jesus, will himself complete and make you what you ought to be. He'll establish you, he'll ground you securely, and strengthen and settle you.
Can I read Hebrews?
Yes.
Hebrews 13:21. Strengthen, complete, and perfect, and make what you ought to do, and equip you with everything good, that you may carry out his will, while he himself works in you and accomplishes that which is pleasing in his sight, through Jesus Christ the Messiah, to whom be the glory forever and ever, to the ages of ages. Amen. So be it.
We want to thank you for listening this morning. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8:30 to 9. And if you'd like to look at our archives and on our website, it's wordoffaithfellowship.org. We love you and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
WCAB. Broadcasting the best classic oldies from beautiful downtown Whiteside Road. We are 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB, Rutherfordton.